Hello, and welcome to our Create Better Health Nutrition course. This episode is going to be over meal planning. This is presented by the Abilene-Taylor County Public Health District. So let's jump into it. So, meal planning is generally just setting up a menu of meals in advance in order to reduce the stress of cooking and to help yourself to eat healthier. So, some benefits of meal planning. It can first off help make it much easier to reach your health goals, as well as it can save you money. So, eating out is expensive, as well as impulse going to the store to buy certain things can also get expensive. Overall, meal planning can be very cost effective and is a great way to save money and also be healthier. As well as it is more option based, depending on your family's taste or your personal taste, can be a way to look at what exactly everyone likes and overall make it a bit easier than and it also makes food shopping a bit faster because whenever you have everything written down, then hopefully you're not spending as much time at the store. And of course, it helps reduce food waste and it prevents decision fatigue. So, whenever you just don't know what to eat, instead, you have a menu right there that tells you, oh, this is what you're going to eat today. But also, meal planning isn't all great. It can be really hard, and there are a lot of different barriers that can be present for people who want to do meal planning, such as time constraints. Meal planning can help save you time. However, it can also feel very daunting and sometimes might not really be accessible. And of course, generally, motivation, it can be very hard to have the motivation to cook, especially if you're the type who looks at cooking every day. Sometimes meal planning can help with this, for if you cook all within one day or a few days and you have it spread out throughout the week, or if you do a lot of the prepping ahead of time so that you don't have to have as much motivation in order to cook. And then cooking knowledge. So there are a lot of different ways to learn a bit more about cooking. Some of them you can find on this site and through our classes. And overall, getting cooking knowledge, it does take a lot of time and it does take motivation to go through that effort. But cooking is a very important skill to have and an extremely useful one. So, building up that cooking knowledge is one way to make meal planning a bit easier, although it might take a few tries to get certain things right. Then, of course, diets and preferences. Managing diets can also be stressful, and whenever you're trying to plan things all at once or in advance, it can kind of add an extra strain to the process of actually getting diets or preferences all sorted out. So, how do you meal plan? This is going to just be a general overview of how meal planning might look like. Step one is to see whatever food you have right now. So, kind of taking inventory of whatever's in your fridge or your cabinets, seeing what exactly you have that maybe you can make meals with now or you can implement later. And then review the My Plate and look at how it can help you plan your meals. So, trying to make sure that throughout your day you're getting fruits, veggies, grains, protein, and dairy, and generally trying to follow the recommendations of fruits and vegetables, making about half your plate, grains a little bit over 1/4, and protein a little bit less than 1/4. And then, of course, dairy that can kind of be sprinkled out throughout your day as well. Steps 3 and 4. Step 3 is to make sure that you look at sales at different stores. So, one of the best ways to make sure that it is a little bit less financially strenuous is by looking at things that can be a bit cheaper. And those sales can be things such as, of course, knowing how to coupon, but also knowing what foods are in season, especially with produce. And then step 4 being to write your meal plan out and display it where everyone can see it so that everyone has an idea of whoever you're cooking for, what that week or day or month is going to look like. Step 5 is to make a list of ingredients that you are missing from your menu plan. Essentially, just writing a grocery list. And maybe looking at ways that you can find cheaper alternatives if that's a worry for you, or more healthy alternatives. And then going grocery shopping. Some tips for going grocery shopping is to not shop while you're hungry, and then also think about what you actually really like and not just what you think you should like in order to be healthy or what you think might be good in that moment because you are actually just really hungry. And then checking the whole shelf. So if you're on a shelf and you know you need something from there, checking the whole shelf to see if maybe you can find something a bit cheaper instead of just grabbing the first one that you see can be a way to kind of save some extra change. And then stick to your list. Don't go way off your list because that is how you end up with an even bigger receipt. And staying near the edges. That is one of the most important tips. Around the edges, we see things like the produce, the bakery that has the breads, the dairy, the meat and protein, fish, everything that you pretty much need in order to make up your basic buy plate, while everything inside are kind of extras or alternatives. So if you stick near the edges, typically it'll be a bit cheaper for you, but also it'll be quite a bit healthier. So that's all for our episode over meal planning. Our next one is going to be over reading the nutrition fact label. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you for the next one.